Chapter 4. I woke up with the sun. Gus and I usually enjoy sleeping when the sun peeks through my window, but not today. This is the third day of the tournament. If I'm lucky, I'll make it to the fourth and final day. This could take me to the final table and hefty cash payouts. My mind raced with ideas of what I could do with the money. I could buy a car that runs on a daily basis. I could live far away from Frankie and his schemes of being my manager, in a condo with an expansive floor plan. A vacation would be sensational and overdue, too. "Stop dreaming," I said, rolling out of bed. There was a knock on my door. "Frankie, it's sad when a girl's life is filled with poker, Gus, and Frankie. Fortunately for me, I'm not seeking more right now." I opened the door for Frankie and let him in. "What's going on?" I asked. "Normally you just walk in?"
"I didn't know if Caleb might still be around. You're due to get lucky one of these years."
"Very funny," I muttered. "I'm not due to get lucky, but thank you for keeping track of my lucky calendar. I'm especially not getting lucky with Caleb."
"You're chicken."
"I'm not chicken. He's just not the guy for me." Frankie raised an eyebrow.
"Uh-huh."
"I'm not saying he's not unbelievably sexy or anything, but I don't like competing for a guy's attention."
"No, you'd rather stick your nose in playing cards and hide behind your stacks of chips."
"I've never had enough chips to hide behind." Frankie shook his head.
"I need you to do me a favor."
"Sure, as long as you give it a rest about me sleeping with Caleb."
"I don't have to give it a rest. Your lack of libido gives it all the rest in the world. I bet your libido is more sluggish than Gus's."
"This is not how to get a favor from me. My libido is fine. I just need to find the right guy for it."
"Caleb is not only the right guy, but the ultimate guy."
"Maybe I don't want the ultimate guy. Maybe I just want cute and reliable."
"You wouldn't say that after Caleb gave you a screaming orgasm."
"See, now you're just dreaming. How would you know if Caleb is good in bed?"
"I can sense these things."
I groaned. "Frankie, what's the favor you want?"
"I need you to stop at the store for me and pick up an outfit like in Rocky Horror Picture Show."
"Are you serious? That's like boudoir gone creepy."
"Of course I am. Don't be thinking this was my idea. I mean, I love the idea, but it was actually a request from a couple that reserved a ceremony time. I think they're coming in character too."
"Which character do you need me to buy?"
"The main drag dude."
I arched my eyebrow but nodded. "I'll take a trip to the mall before I head to the casino."
"No, you need to go to the Naughty Shack."
"Frankie, I'll die of embarrassment if I go to the Naughty Shack."
"It's the only place that will have everything I need and in my size."
"You owe me for this," I huffed. "What size should I buy?" Frankie peeked around at my empty apartment before he whispered his size in my ear. I left the Naughty Shack with Frankie's purchase. I was embarrassed to pick it out, let alone have the cashier ring it up. I left with a bag filled with a corset, undies, and thigh-high stockings with a garter belt. I even bought him a boa and heels to match, but I suspected he already had these things in his closet. I peeked at my watch. I had to hurry to the casino to meet Maya for our first poker lesson. I really didn't know if I could teach her anything, but she seemed sweet. If I could teach her to play well enough to beat her arrogant boyfriend, then it would be worth it. I jumped in my car and turned the key. The car groaned. "No! Baby, please don't die on me." I gave the dashboard a caress. "Please be okay." I closed my eyes and turned the key again. Groan, sput, clunk, clonk. "Stupid car." I smacked the dash. The car gave a final sputter as it shook and died. I dug my cell phone out of my purse. Without a car, there was no way I could make it to the casino in time. "I'll call Maya and—" No, I won't call Maya because I don't have her phone number. Maybe Steffi could relay a message to Maya. Grayson's business card was in my purse's secret pocket. I didn't stash it there because I thought I would need to call again. I hid it there so I didn't have to see it or think about it. I wanted to deter the remembrance of Grayson's touch from befuddling my mind. Since we met, I hadn't been able to get him out of my thoughts. Steffi answered the phone in a very professional manner, yet I could detect a little Vegas attitude behind it. Steffi, it's Nadia Wolf. I hate to bother you, but can you give Maya a message?
Oh, sure, hon. What can I do for you?
I'm supposed to meet her at the private table you reserved for us, but my car died. Can you tell her I'll be late?
How are you going to get here? Do you have a ride?
I haven't thought that far ahead. I'll probably just call a taxi and have a tow truck pick up my car.
Where are you? I'll have Remy pick you up.
I'm at a store, but you don't need to go to all the trouble.
It's no trouble. Remy will be there in 10 minutes.
Who's Remy?
Mr. Miller's driver.
Oh no, I couldn't.
Too late. I've already sent him the instructions to get on the road. Mr. Miller is in a meeting and won't be able to use Remy until this afternoon. Believe me, it's better for everyone involved to keep Remy active.
I didn't know what she meant and was afraid to ask.
Nadia, where can he pick you up?
My stomach churned. The Naughty Shack, I whispered.
I couldn't hear you. Where are you?
I took a breath. The Naughty Shack. Steffi coughed and cleared her throat.
I'll text Remy the information.
I waited as far away from the Naughty Shack as I could, clutching the bag close. I didn't want to leave it in the car. For such small items, they cost a fortune. A black limousine pulled to the curb in front of me. A tall, muscular man with olive skin, a shaved head, and dark, brooding features stepped out of the limo and stood in front of me within a few strides. My eyes widened as he towered over me. I involuntarily squeaked. Everything about the man was muscular and edged with hard lines. His biceps stretched his white button-down shirt, threatening to shred if he flexed once. His necktie was loose enough to notice his top button was undone, since it was too snug to button around his thick neck. He was handsome in his own way. Not classically handsome. Secret operative on steroids, handsome. He gave off the instant vibe that he was his own island. Someone who preferred to be strong, independent, and alone. With shore leave every now and again.
You're Nadia?
Yes, you must be Remy. He gave a tight nod.
I'll take your bag for you.
I would have argued with anyone else. I didn't want Frankie's purchase to fall into prying eyes, especially since they would assume it was my outfit. Remy didn't seem like he would take no for an answer, and I didn't want to test him. I quickly handed him the bag as he opened the back door for me. Once I was settled, he closed the door and stowed my bag in the trunk. As Remy drove away from the curb, I shifted to the seat in front so I could position myself closer to the closed privacy window. Normally, Remy was the type of man I was too chicken to talk to. He was the type of man most people were too chicken to talk to. However, he must know a lot about Grayson, and I was 10 steps beyond curious. I knocked on the window. The window rolled down, and 2 eyes narrowed on me through the rearview mirror.
Need something?
I've never ridden in a limo. It's kind of lonely back here, I said. I wasn't truly lonely, nor did I care if I sat in the back all by myself. Grayson's presence filled the confined space like a seductive dream, calling me to make a fool of myself once again.
Most people like being left alone,
he said, as if it was an unquestionable fact. I guess that's okay if you're used to it, but I'd rather not ride in a black box. It feels like I'm going to my own funeral.
I'm on duty today, so no one's going to a funeral unless they attack this car. Plus, it's got the flashy lights and a bar back there.
So, you're a bodyguard too? He nodded.
You can't be too careful. I drive Mr. Miller around too. He's had several threats.
Really? Why would anyone threaten him?
There are many reasons. You can't be in a powerful position and have more money than you know what to do with without making a few enemies along the way. He's a good guy and a badass businessman. Sometimes the two can blur together.
He inspected me in his mirror.
I haven't seen you before. Are you new in his life?
Is that like asking if I'm his latest conquest? I asked as my stomach withered from the thought of Grayson's other possible conquests. No, I'm not new in his life, but I did just meet him. It was very embarrassing, so I don't want to go into details. He was nice enough to reserve a private poker table for Maya and me. That's why I'm heading to the casino.
Oh man, that was you?
He eyed me in the mirror.
You're the girl who spilled the drink on Mr. Miller. I had to drive that Japanese dude to the airport. He told me all about it between his fits of laughter. Are you sure Mr. Miller is helping you and not trying to get some kind of payback?
Would he do that?
Probably not to you, but like I said, he has enemies.
Nadia?
Maya called. She waved her hand enthusiastically so I could find her in the crowd. I made my way over to her. She hopped up and down like a small child, anxious for her birthday presents.
This is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to learn everything. I'm going to be so good. I can feel it. I think I was meant to play poker instead of serving drinks.
Let's not jump ahead of ourselves. From what Grayson told me, you're a good server.
He's sweet, but very focused. He normally doesn't like people talking to him while he's trying to work, but he always lets me ramble on and on. I think that's because I'm his sister-in-law. His brother and I are married, but he disappeared one day. That was 2 years ago. I only started dating a few months ago. I'm not sure if I'm still considered technically married or not.
I opened my mouth to speak, but she continued.
Grayson tried to take care of me the best he could. I could have asked for as much money as I wanted, and Grayson would have gladly given it to me. I know I need to be on my own and make my own way. Grayson understood and hired me. I know he still keeps his eyes on me. He always schedules me for his fancy private parties even though I'm not his best server. He's a wonderful guy. Should we play at this table?
My head swam with information overload. I don't think Maya had breathed once. I'm sure if she continued, we would have to race her to the hospital for oxygen deprivation. No, I booked a private table. We followed the casino wall. It took 10 minutes of struggling through swarms of tourists, tables, and noisy slot machines with flashing lights before we finally made it. Roy and Caleb were deep in conversation, but smiled when we arrived. Gloria, Roy's fifth and current wife, was checking her makeup in her compact mirror. She's about 5 years older than me and has a body that could stop a guy in his tracks. I never figured out why she married Roy since he doesn't have a lot of money, and he's 25 years older than her. They seem to get along well, so there must be something in the relationship. I like her. I'm hoping she sticks around longer than the last one did. She has a spunky personality that matches her imitation Gucci bag and 5-inch leopard print heels.
Come sit down by me, sugar,
Gloria said to Maya.
You don't want to sit too close to the others. They're like piranhas. They'll feed off the weak if you're within biting distance.
I don't bite, I said as I placed myself between Caleb and Roy. Caleb leaned over to me and whispered,
That's too bad.
I rolled my eyes. Can we get started? The dealer took his seat. I swiped chips from Caleb's stack and gave them to Maya. He would win them back eventually anyway. An amused expression surfaced on his face.
You're stealing my chips like a wife would. I better be careful. People might think I'm settling down.
No one would think that, I said. How many girls have you been seen with this month alone? He smirked. Gloria explained the rules of the game to Maya and gave her a cheat sheet to play by. I should ask Gloria for a copy. It might help my game. We played a few rounds without Maya so she could watch and get a feel for the game. Each player explained what they were doing and why. Even I found it useful. I learned information on Caleb's thought process. When he doesn't have solid cards, he's aggressive toward the beginning of the hand. It tends to force a person to fold a tepid hand, so his chances of winning are better. It's an effective playing style, but you have to have the courage and bankroll to make those moves. You could waste a lot of chips if you don't continue to keep up your aggressiveness. One show of weakness or bad cards and it's all over. I smirked. I might actually be able to tread through this tournament and win the wager. I observed Caleb as he was smiling at Maya. He was watching her as she bounced up and down in her seat because she had all red cards. Maya, you need to have the same suit, not just all red, I said.
Oh, pooh.
Her bottom lip protruded slightly.
You mean I didn't win?
Not this hand, but try again.
Let her win the next hand, I whispered to Roy and Caleb. A happy, bouncy Maya was hard enough to handle. I didn't want to see a sad and upset Maya.
Sure, it's fun to watch her win.
Caleb said. Roy nodded in agreement. I rolled my eyes. Men. Maya won the next hand with a pair of twos. She jumped up and gave everyone a kiss.
I can't believe I won a hand. This is so much fun. I'm going to tell my boyfriend that he's a stupid head and I can play poker.
Caleb nudged me.
Is this why we're here? To take revenge on Stupid Head?
I told you it was a moment of weakness, but just look how happy she is. And now she has the confidence to call her boyfriend a stupid head, which I'm sure he is.
I'm sure.
Caleb said.
Are you going to take me up on the wager?
Roy's ears perked when he heard the word wager. It's one of his favorite words.
What wager? Can I get in on it? What are the odds?
He asked. Gloria shot him a warning glance.
Big Daddy, remember what we talked about. You aren't allowed to bet on any more wagers until you pay me back.
He winced as though he was stabbed with a dull knife.
You wouldn't have liked the wager.
Caleb reassured him.
Come on,
Gloria said to Roy.
we need to get going.
She yanked Roy from his seat and blew a goodbye kiss to me.
I need to get to work too,
Maya said.
One of the girls called in sick. I had so much fun. Can we do this again?
I nodded. She bubbled and bounced like a bouncy ball out of the room.
She's got personality,
Caleb said. I narrowed my eyes at him. He stuck his hands up in the air.
I'm just saying she's a sweet girl.
Uh-huh. I turned to the dealer. Anthony, give us one more hand. All in. Caleb pushed his chips in.
What's this about?
If you win, I'll go along with the wager. If I win, I won't. Since we were both all in, the dealer faced the cards up. I had a queen and 10, and Caleb had a pair of 5s. I watched as Anthony dealt the flop and scrutinized the 3 cards. They were a 9 jack and 5. The 9 and jack could help me win with a straight. Caleb scored a 3 of a kind. If the dealer threw down a king or 8, I could still win. I sat on my shaking hands.
Do you want to back out?
Caleb asked. He was enjoying watching me squirm. Bite me.
I intend to.
Anthony laid down the next card called the turn. It was a 3, which didn't help either of us. My head buzzed with nerves. Anthony placed his fingers on the card stack, preparing to flip the next one called the river. It's the river that always seems to make or break the hand. Many players with rubbish cards have sucked out on players with a solid winning hand on the river. A seasoned poker player knows to hold off on any excitement about winning the hand until the river is on the table. I hoped this was my time to trounce Caleb. Anthony placed the card on the table. A 9. Caleb grinned.
Damn, I made a full house. I win.
He leaned close to me.
I always win.